So I love talking about American Express credit cards because I think that it's pretty easy to see that Amex offers some of the best features, benefits, and sign-up bonuses compared to other credit card issuers. But even though American Express cards might be able to give you a lot of value, they're also some of the most misunderstood credit cards out there that I see so many people using the wrong way. So in this video, I want to go over the 10 most common American Express mistakes that could be costing you money or forcing you to leave some value on the table and how you can avoid doing those things. And we'll be covering mistakes that people make with a variety of Amex cards, from the no annual fee Blue Cash every day all the way up to the $695 Amex Platinum card. So as always, let's get right into it without wasting any time here with mistake number 1, and that is going to be overpaying for annual fees. So American Express has a few good no annual fee credit cards, but what they're mostly known for are their more premium products like that Platinum card or even the Amex Gold card, which comes in with a price tag of $250 per year. Now luckily, depending on who you are, there's sort of 3 primary ways to reduce and sometimes even eliminate these annual fees altogether so that you can get more value by paying less. So the first way is actually by being an active duty member of the US military. Basically, because of laws like the Service Member Civil Relief Act and the Military Lending Act, American Express interprets that in order to avoid breaking these laws, annual fees on their credit cards should be waived for the customers that are actively serving in the US military. Many of you have actually commented about this feature on some previous videos, which has been super helpful for anyone else out there that reads the comments. So with this video, feel free to comment down below your experience with this if you're an active duty military member and you've been getting your annual fees waived on Amex cards. But just remember that this is only something that's available while being active duty. So once you leave military service, American Express is going to likely start charging that annual fee to your account. Now, another way to get a potentially reduced annual fee on certain American Express cards is if you already hold a corporate Amex card through your employer. So at my first job after I graduated from Penn State 5 years ago, I had a corporate credit card with that job, and I had no idea about this corporate advantage benefit that could have potentially saved me a few $100s on my annual fees every single year. All you have to do is go to the American Express website, and then at the top of the page, click on cards, and then under corporate programs, you'll see a link for personal card annual credit. Then you just have to enter in your Amex corporate credit card details, but basically if you're eligible, then you're going to be able to get a statement credit back to your personal credit card accounts on 4 specific credit cards. The credits are going to vary on each card, but you can get $150 back on the Amex Platinum, $100 back on the Amex Gold, $75 back on the Green Card, and $50 back on the Blue Cash Preferred. So those are real savings that are easy to take advantage of if you qualify. So definitely make sure you check that out after you're finished watching the rest of this video. Also, another way to avoid overpaying for annual fees is that if you're finding it tough to justify renewing your card when the annual fee hits your account again this year, instead of canceling it, just message American Express and see if you're able to find any retention offers first. This is basically you negotiating your annual fee with Amex because they don't want to lose your business and their customer acquisition costs can be pretty high, so they would rather just pay you something to keep you as a customer. So what I did last year when my $695 annual fee hit my Platinum card account was I messaged American Express customer service, and they were able to offer me 40,000 points after spending $3,000 on the card in 3 months if I renewed the annual fee. So those are just a few options you have to avoid overpaying for some of those premium Amex cards. But let's move on here to mistake number 2 that I think is the easiest one to make when you're applying for any American Express card in the first place, and that is overvaluing the credits. Now, American Express is known to have a few cards that come with credits that can help to give you value to potentially offset some of the annual fee. And these can be things like Uber credits on the Platinum and Gold cards, dining credits to places like Shake Shack, Grubhub, and a few others on the Amex Gold, credits for the Disney bundle of streaming services on the Blue Cash Preferred and Blue Cash Every Day, and then just a whole bunch of other credits on the Amex Platinum card that I've talked about in more detail in another video that I'll link to down below. But the mistake people make is they don't accurately value what these credits are worth to them, or basically they think they'll use these credits but then they don't, or they force themselves to use these credits once they get these cards, but then they're not really a part of their normal spending habits. So a perfect example of this right now comes from the Amex Gold card, and I've said it before that I'm a big fan of this card, but only for the right person because of the way the potential $240 worth of annual credits work against the $250 annual fee. Now, many blogs or videos talking about this card might say that $250 minus $240 equals just a $10 effective annual fee, but that leaves out information that in order to realize that $10 effective annual fee, you should already be spending at least $10 per month every single month on Uber rides or Uber Eats, and then you should also be spending $10 every month on any one of the brands covered by that dining credit like Grubhub or Shake Shack. Not everyone is going to be spending money on those things that often, and because the $240 in annual credits are split up into monthly $10 Uber and $10 dining credits that are use it or lose it credits and do not roll over month to month, a lot of people just end up overvaluing what these credits are really worth to them. This mistake of overvaluing credits is even more true for a card like the Amex Platinum with an even higher annual fee and even more specific credits that you have to keep track of. So if you're not spending money on these things within your normal spending habits, then maybe these more premium Amex cards you should stay away from, and then just stick with those no annual fee the Amex cards instead. Now next, for mistake number 3, this is another common one that has some easy ways to be fixed that I've learned about over the years, and that mistake is settling for a lower welcome bonus. Now American Express has language in their terms for most of their cards that says you're limited to 1 welcome bonus per card in your lifetime, so you can get 1 bonus on the Platinum, 1 bonus on the Gold, 1 bonus on the Blue Cash every day, and so on. This can be different than credit cards from other issuers, which sometimes allow you to get 1 sign-up bonus every few years once some time has passed, like maybe 48 months. But since American Express says they only allow you to get 1 sign-up bonus per card and that's it, we want to make it count and get the highest offer possible. Now, if you just go to the American Express website and then search for a card, you might be able to find an okay offer, but in order to make sure it's the highest one, you should definitely spend a few minutes or even a day or two searching around the internet to see what else is out there and what other people are seeing as well. If you only see an offer for 80,000 membership rewards points on the Amex Platinum card, but then someone else that's similar to you sees an offer for 150,000 points, that's a 70,000 point difference that's equal to at least $700 in opportunity costs that you're missing out on if you value those points at just 1 cent per point. But the opportunity cost of 70,000 Amex points could also be worth nearly $3,200 or more for something like a round-trip business class flight from New York to Madrid on Iberia. So bottom line, your time is well spent doing just a little bit of research to find the highest offer possible before applying. Now, in my experience and from what I've seen other people talk about on YouTube and Reddit, some ways to shop around for different offers could be to try clicking on ads for credit cards on Google search, which is going to lead you to different landing pages. You can check the regular American Express website or click on affiliate links from your favorite YouTubers or credit card blogs. You can use a friend or a family member's personal referral links. You might get a special offer in the mail, or you can go to Resi.com where they have a page for exclusive US offers from Amex with pretty cool sign-up bonuses. Or you can also check out my link tree that I'll have down below where I put some good resources like a link to Card Match, which is going to give you personalized offers that should be pretty good and are based on a number of factors. So definitely check that out to learn more and see what offers you might qualify for. All right, now for these next 3 mistakes, they all have to do with transferring and redeeming Amex points. And most of us know there's good ways and bad ways to redeem points, so I don't want to go over every single detail here like I have in previous videos. But these mistakes are important to remember because I see people getting tripped up by them all the time. So mistake number 4 is transferring points at the wrong time. Now, whenever I make a video that shows examples of point redemptions by transferring to travel partners that American Express has, like British Airways, Singapore Airlines, Iberia, Hilton, or any of the other ones, that does not mean that you should immediately take all the Amex points that you've been saving up and then transfer them right away to those partner programs. And there's 2 reasons for that. First of all, if you transfer your points before confirming there's a specific award available that you want to book on a specific date and time, there's no guarantee that you'll be able to find and then book that ticket. So for example, maybe you want to fly in a lay flat business class seat on Singapore Airlines for 81,000 miles, so you transfer 81,000 Amex points into 81,000 Singapore KrisFlyer miles. Then you go to the Singapore Airlines website just to find out that there's no availability on the dates you want to fly, or maybe find out that this kind of flight isn't even available from your home airport and now you've got to fly across the country just to book that ticket. So the better way to do it is to do a complete search for an award ticket first, and only after you found availability, then you can transfer your Amex points over to Singapore Airlines to book that flight. Also, the second reason you want to wait to transfer Amex points to any travel partner programs and just hold your points inside your American Express account for as long as possible is because sometimes there's also special transfer promotions going on that can pop up for a limited time. So for example, when I booked a couple of Air France business class tickets for later this year, the cost for 2 tickets on the day that I found was 110,000 miles, so I could have transferred 110,000 Amex points to book that, which is a pretty good deal. But then I realized that American Express was running a special promotion where I could get a 25% transfer bonus when transferring over to Air France. So instead of needing to transfer 110,000 points, it only took 88,000 points from Amex to transfer over to 110,000 miles through Flying Blue with Air France to book that ticket. So just remember that American Express membership rewards points are very valuable for a few reasons, but one of the main reasons is that they're flexible and transferable to many great travel partner programs. So use that to your advantage and look for special promotions, or at the very least, wait until you confirm availability with an airline or hotel before transferring over your points to book. Now, speaking of hotels, mistake number 5 is redeeming MR points for hotel stays in the Amex travel portal, because hotel stays only get around 70% of the value compared to flights that you book in that same portal. Obviously, if we want to get the most value from Amex points, then again, transferring points is the best option. But sometimes people might have millions of points saved up, or they just want to book a flight the easy way without doing all that research to find award availability. So in those cases, the bare minimum value that I would say to settle for is 1 cent per point when booking flights inside the American Express travel portal, which is just okay value. So 70,000 Amex points is worth $700 for flights in the portal. However, if you search for hotels to book with those same 70,000 points, that's only going to get you around $490 in value, because most hotel bookings only get 0.7 cents per point on on average. And one exception to this would be hotels in the fine hotels and resorts collection that you might find in your search, where you're going to be able to generally get around 1 cent per point. But hotels in this program are usually a bit more expensive anyway, so that still might not be a good option. Now for mistake number 6, which also has to do with redeeming points in a bad way, that is going to be redeeming MR points for cashback as a statement credit, which only gets you 0.6 cents per point, so that values 70,000 points at only $420. So really, if you're using the Amex Gold card at grocery stores, getting 4 points per dollar on your grocery spending, and then if you're turning around and redeeming those points at 0.6 cents per point for cashback, that 4 points per dollar turns into just 2.4% cashback. Now instead, if we look at a card like the Amex Blue Cash Everyday, which is truly a cashback focused credit card, it gets 3% back on groceries, which beats the effective 2.4% value that you get from the Gold card. Plus, the Blue Cash Everyday has no annual fee to keep things simple, while the Amex Gold has that $250 annual fee. That's just one example of bad point redemptions for cash back, but for what we would call cash equivalents, the point redemption rate on MR points is also not very good. So for gift cards, you're usually getting anywhere from around 0.7 cents per point to 1 cent per point, depending on the brand. So for this $100 Best Buy gift card, it's going for 14,286 points, which is a value of 0.7 cents per point. This $100 Nike gift card is 11,765 points, which is 0.85 cents per point. And then this $100 Home Depot gift card is going for 10,000 points, which basically values that at 1 cent per point. None of those are great options, except maybe the Home Depot gift card if you're okay with getting that acceptable 1 cent per point minimum. But again, there's always going to be the opportunity cost of redeeming for travel with those points by transferring them to travel partners for much more value. Also, a lot of times you'll see that you can apply Amex points to your purchases at checkout on sites like Amazon.com. But here, if I was trying to buy the subscribe button to remind you to go ahead and subscribe down below to help support the channel here, because it's completely free and only 16% of you are actually subscribed. But buying this on Amazon would cost me $24.37 after taxes, or I could redeem 3,481 membership rewards points to cover it instead. However, that would be a redemption that only values those points at 0.7 cents per point as well. So bottom line, just do your research before redeeming your Amex points, because they could be worth a lot more than you think. Never settle for anywhere below 1 cent per point. And you can always check out my full video guide to redeeming Amex points, because I went over this stuff in much more detail, so I'll link that down below. Now that brings me to mistake number 7 that goes along with this last mistake, and that is simply by getting the wrong Amex cards. So like I said in an example before, where you're looking for cashback and not travel, don't use the Amex Gold card, because you might be better off with either the Amex Blue Cash Everyday or even the Blue Cash Preferred, and both of those cards earn cashback at better rates on groceries compared to the Gold card. Those are two of their best cashback credit cards they offer, but you can also check out some of their co-branded hotel and airline credit cards they have as well, with brands like Marriott, Hilton, or Delta, if you're really loyal to any one of those programs. Many of these hotel and airline cards give you things like better status, more benefits like free check bags and free nights, lounge access, and some other useful credits that might apply better to your own situation. And even though flexible points currencies like membership rewards are great, and I usually think most people should prioritize those first, if you travel a lot and you only travel with any one of those brands, then they might be worth checking out if it makes sense for you. Mistake number 8 also has to do with what Amex credit cards you get, because this mistake is closing a card and losing MR points. And the reason I want to talk about this is because most of the well-known Amex cards that earn MR points come with an annual fee as well, like $150 on the green card, $250 on the gold card, and $695 on the platinum. So when some people realize that they don't want to pay an annual fee anymore, and they haven't gotten any retention offers, or they have not been able to reduce their annual fee through any ways we talked about at the beginning of this video, what people do is they either close their cards with MR points still in their accounts, which essentially makes them lose those points, or they quickly liquidate those points on bad redemptions like some of the ways we just talked about as well. So instead of closing an Amex card that earns MR points and losing all that potential value that you might be able to access in the future, instead what you could do is get a no annual fee product called the Amex Everyday card. Now the Amex Everyday costs nothing to keep open, and it only has a small 10,000 point sign up bonus and gets 2 points per dollar on groceries and 1 point per dollar on other purchases. But because this card earns MR points and would sit within your American Express account, by having this card open and active, you won't have to give up all those valuable points if you feel like you need to cancel any other more expensive Amex cards. Basically, it's good for holding and redeeming points, but that's pretty much it. But I hate to see people waste their Amex points because of how valuable they can be. So this is definitely an option to look into before you close one of those premium cards. Then for mistake number 9, I can't believe more people don't use this tool or even know about this tool when I tell them what it is, but that mistake is not using Rakuten. Now, whether you want to earn cashback or MR points, Rakuten is the best way to basically double dip when it comes to getting more back in return for your spending. So basically, it's a cashback portal where they advertise certain deals going on for extra cashback at many popular stores. All you have to do is click the link through Rakuten, which is going to bring you to whatever website you want to shop from. But then if you buy something, not only will you earn cashback from Rakuten, but you're also going to earn whatever cashback or points that your credit card earns. But for American Express customers specifically, it's an amazing tool if you're like me and you prefer to earn MR points that you can redeem for travel with more value with transfer partners. And that's because if you go to your settings on Rakuten, you can choose to get paid out in Amex points instead of cash back, which is huge. And the way the cash back to points conversion works here is that anytime you see 1% cash back, that's a bonus 1 point per dollar. 2% back on Rakuten is a bonus 2 points per dollar, and so on. So definitely check out Rakuten at the link I have down below if you don't already have an account, where you can get a first-time bonus of $30 or really 3,000 Amex points after you make your first purchase of $30 or more through Rakuten. And then the 10th mistake that people make with American Express, which actually sometimes causes them to miss out on even triple dipping when it comes to spending money, and that is by forgetting about Amex offers, which are available on pretty much any American Express card within your account. Now, personally, I like to use an app and a browser extension called Card Pointers that I've talked about plenty of other times here on this channel. And in my experience of trying out different apps and different platforms, I think they're the best one out there when it comes to automatically adding these Amex offers to your cards when you log into your Amex account. And basically, once you've added these offers, you'll be able to earn extra points, statement credits, or other discounts at many places that you might already be spending money at. Many people forget about these offers, and I know I did too before I started using Card Pointers. So go check them out as well at the link I have down below with either their free version that has this feature or even their paid version as well that offers a lot more. But even if you want to add these Amex offers manually, don't forget they're there because you can definitely save some decent money when you find the right offers. Now, if you're still looking to learn more about Amex cards, like which ones might be right for you, how to redeem your points for max value with examples, or really anything else, then make sure you go ahead and check out everything I organized from my channel into one simple playlist that I'll put on the screen right over here that'll tell you exactly everything you need to do. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.